but also discovering that optimization between a champion and item, sometimes unexpected. Zeri with Triforce, for instance, being one that was around, but now with 13.12, might see a bit of a different look in the bot lane.
Yep. There have been some interesting Zeri builds that have popped up in answer to removing the Triforce synergy. So wondering if it'll still get picked even with the nerfs and with the changes. Azir, though, something nobody's surprised if you've been watching any other leagues. Azir, with those buffs, rose up really quickly in priority, especially as a blind pick. Lots of wave push. Everything you know and love about Azir and you used to know and love still does. Scales team fights. Meanwhile, though, for top lane, also some other blind picks like Renekton, keeping with the Shurima theme, has also risen up in priority. And we'll see if we get any deeper there. But the Akali, the classic answer to Azir, this is a kill answer post level 6, looking for outplays here. Gori wants to go at Jensen. He wants to get those kills.
And Golden Guardians continuing just to take that forward-thinking approach when it comes to the draft. Gori was already warming up on the Azir in week 1, and then I'm sure in anticipation of Azir coming back into the meta, having these answers at the ready. But Dignitas looking to get some additional lock-ins here with some jungles taken out, especially of the facilitative variety. They lock in the Maokai.
My personal favorite. It's so easy to play on the patch. You can do the cheaper support item tank builds with the Even Shroud, Sunfire, Abyssal combination. Since you have an Azir on your team, you don't need to go demonic. You don't need to go any of that magic damage, build for the Maokai. I expect Santorin to be pure tank here with those support items. And the best part is, with your Even Shroud and your Abyssal, you amp the Azir's damage as well. So huge synergy here for Dignitas. I'm actually really liking their side of the draft. The Ashe was recently buffed, so picking that Ashe, jumping up immediately on this patch, and gives you that initiation to go along with the Maokai. Really solid team fight for Dig so far.
And the additional level to that Ashe being that the changes were supposed to affect both her role as a bot laner as well as a support. So instilling that flexibility in Ashe once again, particularly with the ultimate. And then on Golden Guardian's side, with Kindred being up, not banned away as she has been so frequently banned early at the start of the split, now available for River.
Yep, Kindred's gonna have to wait until next patch before Kindred receives their nerfs. And so still will be a terror, still with the Triforce power, lots of early invade possibilities. And if you're gonna go for an early invade possibility with Kindred, you definitely want some pushing lanes. Guess what? Akali is not that. So if there was gonna be one, it would have to be a top lane matchup for themselves. It would have to be Licorice picking one of his counter picks. So we expect Golden Guardians to save him for their last pick, and you can see they're banning out the tank top lane options here already. K'Sante Sion down off the board. They really want to get it into something spicier there so that either of these two top laners, which honestly are the stars of both of these teams, can have their way.
Rich was showing up very big on K'Sante last week to prove to be a strong point that the team can work around, especially as a new player trying to really set the tone for the rest of the split on Dignitas. And then Licorice, even when you are banning out a lot of the meta picks, he's known to have such a varied pool. A lot of the winning identity that Golden Guardians discovered in spring was off of that agency given to the players to play what they feel is right in the moment. Even in his last interview, kind of noting when he's just picking up a champ just to see what it feels like, and ends up working out for them.
Yeah, and K'Sante, by far the best champion that we've seen Rich on, so definitely love that ban from Golden Guardians, and we'll see what else he can do. His specialty, of course, does focus a lot on that team fighting, and especially with the strategy that Dig have laid out in their first 3 picks, still expect him to serve that role.
It was talked about actually in that content piece that was run on the broadcast that talked about Dignitas, how good his team fighting can be. So very much so, Kobe, would make sense for them to index, but it's Jax.
I expect like a Gragas answer into the Jax is really one of the easiest, most reliable answers into this champion, and would provide some front lane playmaking options for Rich, some team fighting for Rich. So really would like that. But if it's 2 tank line lock-ins here, they go with the Poppy instead. Obviously, you're going to be able to interrupt the dashes of the Jax in your 1v1, but also the Kindred and Akali. So huge value here in synergy breaking and going for the Poppy instead of the Gragas.
A lot of responsiveness right now on Dignitas' side to exactly what Golden Guardians is bringing forth as their immediate threats. Milio changing a bit on 13.12, but not enough to keep him out of play.
Yeah, some slight nerfs. Just shrug them off there. You've got the cleanse and the engage on your bottom lane now. Lots of utility from this Dignitas bottom lane. And honestly, that's how they want to draft. Bring the utility from the bottom side. Jensen going to be the primary carry. Now we're looking across at River, of course, the Jarvan, the classic champion for him, but we get the Rell support. It's much better in support than jungle, by the way. I was trying to convince Jad of this. On the next patch, maybe, you know, they've got some more tweaks where they're going to buff up the jungle Rell and take down the support role. But right now, with those changes that they made and the possibilities here for Rell, now you do have the stun on your Q instead. It has really risen to priority in engage support role. And guess what? Huhi is one of the all-time Rell beasts here in the LCS. So happy to see him get his hands on it early out of the changes that were made.
So Huhi on the Rell versus plenty of utility on the opposite side. When it comes to these drafts, what's your verdict, Kobe? What's your read?
I mean, I'm slightly on the side of Golden Guardians now, even though I do really like the opener here from Dignitas. I feel like they're going to have to weather such a storm. And Golden Guardians early.
Two teams that took a flexible approach to draft. And I want to see who's going to come out on top, because I feel like Fudge definitely instilled some of that spiciness when he was saying on stream, making his predictions, that he believes Dignitas, based on scrim results, will take down Golden Guardians. But Kobe, it also feels like a lot of times we talk about scrim results and then they don't always fare the same on the stage.
Yeah, don't trust your scrim data too far. I'm super hyped because, like you're saying, you know, Fudge weighing in on this. This is a top laner matchup here that is highly sought after. Licorice, and during his MSI time here with Golden Guardians, definitely the big star. And even then coming back, even though Golden Guardians started 1 and 2, a little bit sluggish after their MSI performance, Licorice still looks very good, even in the losses that they had. So see what he can do going into Rich. It is kind of a combo breaker matchup. The Poppy is very annoying for the Jax to deal with the W to break the jump, and a little bit more options here for Dig as far as just trying to track enemy jungle. Saplings are going to get a lot of work for Santorin. Just wanted to keep track of River and make sure that Golden Guardians don't get too much volatility in their favor, because if Dignitas get what they want, it will be a slow and controlled game.
But for the side of Golden Guardians, it's definitely a different look. I found it interesting, Stixxay actually is speaking in an interview that he did on Small Talk with Chibias. His lane takes a bit of damage in this poke, about how so many of their wins past split came off of Sejuani and Vi, and they really want to try and find other looks from that jungle position. And we noticed that immediately off the bat in their drafts, River going for aggressive picks, going for carries, going for that unique identity so that they can diversify the strategies with which they try to crush opponents. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we'll see if he can pop off here on the Kindred.
And Kindred is always best paired when you've got engaged somewhere else on your team, either top lane or support. And in this case, Huhi has made his name on support engages for so long here. Big playmaking, and him to be able to get his hands on the new Rell, even though they did take quite a lot of damage in that early trade, should be something that River wants to play off of. Being able to play off Rell engages now. The engage is incredibly good with this champion, and bottom lane pushing out for Golden Guardians is definitely going to give them that top to bottom clear, easy route here for River. He's going to come up and play the 50-50 on Scuttle Crabs, see if he can roll the dice and get his bottom side Kindred mark to spawn. But of course, Dignitas won't be caught off guard. The other benefits of having the utility bottom lane of the Ashe and Milio is that you, of course, do get the Hawk shot. And the first Hawk shot did find that it was a top to bottom clear for River, so they know his exact location. Huhi coming up here, already that support gameplay trying to help out with Kindred, make sure they've got full control of the mark, but they lose the coin flip, and the mark is on top side.
Opposite ways, but still something to chase down is a future goal right now, just going for the scuttle on bot for Golden Guardians to achieve some of that vision. Santorin making that work on top.
Huhi going to try and see if he can mess with the Maokai, keep him off it, but there's no chance. So get back to lane. His timer here is going to be a little bit delayed behind Stixxay, who's walking back, but should be just fine as the wave is pushing towards him. Diamond and Tomo just trying to shove it right on back so that they can match their recalls. Tomo and Diamond currently being down those recalls, down those items. They don't want to get stuck here.
Yeah, a little bit down in CS on the side of Golden Guardians because of that shove, and with Dragon spawning in 40 seconds, you definitely don't want to be caught too far out of position before those neutral objectives start becoming something that you want to begin warding around from support. And kind of talking a bit more about that utility on the bot side, I think for Tomo and Diamond going against such a strong bot lane in Stixxay and Huhi, it's great for them to have tools that they can offer the team beyond just the lane. Having that utility to access in team fights, as well as gathering that information in terms of vision to put some more power in the pockets of people like Jensen, who can be that veteran to step up on such an age-old pick with which he has much experience. Diamond now making his way towards mid with Gori hanging low on HP, but the poke obviously being good for Jensen.
Yep. Jensen Azir was the first win that Dignitas got last split in one of their very few number of wins. And so a lot of faith here put into it for Dignitas. I think it's rightly been invested. That turret plate already going to get knocked off pretty early on in the pure 2v2, and even at sometimes 1v2. Okay, it needs one more auto to cash in on that turret plate as we go for fishing for a flash here on Jensen pre-level 6. The idea is for Gori and Huhi here, if you could pop a summoner spell or something, then Akali gets level 6 and you get to put that kill pressure onto the Azir. But Huhi's been spending a lot of time roaming up around here through the river, and there's been a lot of vision here that he's had to go through. Now he might actually... Nah, he's fine.
Yeah, that control all the while had Dignitas with their eyes locked on where Huhi was roaming, was able to take it out and just replace it with another. Also, you have to think about those saplings and how those come into play as we're setting up for Dragon, and clearly two different approaches for how to try and create some priority around this bot side of the map. Both junglers here towards top. River. No, Santorin is nearby, throwing out the saplings.
Santorin doesn't know that River has no smite right now, and it would be a little bit dangerous. His mid laner just recalled, don't want to walk up to a Kindred, you get hit with a slow. Annoying to try and get away, even though you can, and especially with phase rush, you would be able to, but does not know he has smite advantage, does not go up and try and yoink that one. Now on recalls for the mid laners, though, we've got the alternator pickup for Gori, plus the extra burst damage here from the shard. So,
oh, Hui's going in for it. Tomo has to flash away. Both summoners expelled. The damage good with a Q procced on Tomo, but in the end, it was aggression from Golden Guardians trying to kick that off.
All right, double summoners down on Tomo on the Ashe. Definitely a point that River, as we were talking about earlier, would want to play off of Huhi's engage. Maybe they can get something going around on bottom side of the map here. Currently, River's going to take a while to get there as he's clearing top down again on the full clear.
Oh, Rich going for the hit, sends Licorice a packin'. Good route from the ultimate of Stixxay, and empowered Q slices through Tomo, but plenty of shielding available from Diamonds. Dignitas now just circling around under their turret, trying to keep those plates protected.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on the bottom side here, not resulting in anything further after the double summoners were blown. Huhi, though, of course, with the Rell and the Hex Flash can repeat that pressure and constantly fish for looks on the bottom side of the map. Rifttrail spawning right now, though, and River heading over. See if he can find that control ward, clear that one out, get his support to recall at the similar time. Huhi's heading up. And even though it's over vision, it looks like Santorin is still on red. And if Santorin lags too much on red, that thing will be gone very, very quickly here. Ashe is going to scout it out.
Yep, Santorin's finally making that rotation upward. Has Jensen, has Diamond, Enchanted Crystal Arrow, along with the Maokai ultimate. Many a stuns, but the Kindred ultimate, as a result, keeps River in it. Slamming into the back, River flashes away, and first blood is drawn by Jensen. 2 traded for 1, but Licorice looking for a wall to flash over, finds it. Gori, nice and healthy, can just swag walk it out there.
And the faith in Jensen is rewarded there. They've got all the support to set him up. The Ashe arrow into the Maokai ultimate as Gori's still poking around. Shouldn't be able to get anything here though from Dig, but it all rewards Dignitas with not 1 but 2 kills and the first blood bonus going to Jensen's hand as well. Ideal early scenario here for Dignitas with the way that they want this game to go with their draft for scaling for team fighting. Nails the Ashe arrow into the Maokai ultimate, forcing Kindred ultimate, and then Jensen goes for it. And they are able to get so much out of that. Even though ends up with Golden Guardians having the gold lead here, I think they're very happy with getting the first blood bonus, with getting it onto Jensen. Here's a look at it. Of course, the counter kill to Gori might get scary. All the burst damage opening with the early items as well. But here's the look after. Santorin waits. Then he goes in with the W to root him in. Even though River flashes, Jensen's able to get the kill right afterwards. That's 2 for them. Meanwhile, Gori did get the counter kill onto jungle, got double buffs, and is kind of this big hope here for Golden Guardians. The kill threat with the early burst damage on those 2 items. And next time ult comes back up, could be very real.
Okay, so Dignitas getting those early advantages they were looking for, but Golden Guardians responding with the immediacy to go towards Dragon to pick the first one up for themselves. Static Shiv now built on Stixxay as well, one of the items to undergo some changes on this patch. So
our first Static Shiv! And it will not to be our last Static Shiv either.
You know, we're all just gonna be stuck with socks on our feet, running on carpet, static all day long. But Golden Guardians first to get this look, locking the ultimate onto Tomo so they get the cleanse out. That's 1 summoner blown and an ultimate from Diamonds as well. Yeah,
a little bit of a double up there. Cleanse and the ultimates from Milio going down. So Stixxay very happy with that one. Gets super high value out of his Varus ultimate. God, he has been doing so much work down here on the Varus. He's given Huhi so much time to roam, it's insane. And there we see the wave clear of the Varus with a Static Shiv rush. You get your Static Shiv proc on the wave and then just Q right through it. The whole wave is instantly gone. And that's why there's so much time here now for Huhi to roam around. Constantly linking up with this Kindred, exactly what you want. Somebody to give that engage to this jungle carry champion to try and get River towards that Trinity Force. He's ever so close to it.
Yeah, there are kind of 2 sides to the good engaged support that can roam. It's the support that can play that style, but also that bot laner that can remain in lane safely and still manage to get some advantages.
Yeah, and look at this. Well, left alone with the recalls for Dignitas bottom lane. They recall their bottom lane because they're already losing there and they want to make the swap up to Rift Herald. So they commit hard to the Rift Herald, but Stixxay down there with the Static Shiv clear, instantly up to the tower, instantly taking turret plates by hand, and they're ready for a dive. Kindred ultimate is available, makes your dives a lot safer here.
Rich teleported down to get here as well. And now with the 8-wave ushered through, teleport response from Golden Guardians just to make sure they can finish this off. The kick away from Rich to try and even the numbers just a tad. Does manage to fall at the hands of Golden Guardians. Stixxay with the kill credit.
They say, okay, you're gonna overload 4 Rift Herald on that side, then we're gonna teleport 4-person dive, your opposite side of the map. The only drawback is, of course, Rift Herald will ensure charge number 2. If Dignitas stick around here and they're able to get 2 towers, it doesn't look like it though with Huhi coming up to match as well. So I really like that call from Golden Guardians. With the full commitment from Dignitas up to the top side of the map, Dignitas do get the Rift Herald and get their 1 tower, but it's the extra kill for Golden Guardians in addition to trading towers. And it was isolated gold on the early turret plates there for Stixxay that he was able to get for himself. Plus the experience lead that he has from so much Huhi roaming time. This Varus is going to be very annoying Static Shiv, AP Varus.
It's why this gold lead has managed to be pretty tranquil, pretty samey, because of the responsiveness of the Golden Guardians to make sure they get those plates, while Dignitas made that play up top with the Rift Herald. But now we get a little bit of quiet time. A lot of warding for Dignitas over on that top side because of their progression forward, just to be able to maintain control over that neutral objective. But now it's Gori pushing up to get some more plates before they fall in about 15 seconds time.
Yummy, yummy Akali turret plate money in the side lane here. And this is what we're going to see Golden Guardians build into with their comp, because Dignitas, they want solid, standard, easy 5-on-5s, front to back, slow and controlled game. Golden Guardians, though, have massive split push advantage with Jax and Akali, and huge wave clear in mid lane with AP Static Shiv Varus. So should be some side lane pushing for them in order to get advantages to set up for this dragon. River gonna preempt that, getting vision down behind the dragon pit and stealing away the red as well as the Raptors.
That's why Golden Guardians are positioned the way they are with 30 seconds until that dragon spawns. We tend to see a fight across mid. Stixxay going for the chain of corruption, but narrowly misses. And Dignitas focusing on clearing the wave. They know that Golden Guardians are gonna rotate towards the dragon first.
All right, 4 marks for River. Everything going according to plan here for the Golden Guardians. Trinity Force, Divine Thunder, double static shivs have come in. That shard that we talked about earlier for Gori finally turned into the shiv. And Golden Guardians have teleport on that Akali as well. There is a ward by Raptors. That ward right there could be the target for teleport for Gori flank.
The Golden Guardians have started up the dragon. Dignitas encroaching upon the river, and teleport used by Golden Guardians to try and get the opposite angle. Huhi going in with the ultimate activated, but goes down at the hand of Jensen. Dignitas wanting to follow up with some more. Dragon slain by River, all the while Golden Guardians shifted away with the Emperor's Divide. Jensen giving his life for it, and the Lamb's Respite escaped by River to be out of the zone to take the damage. Dignitas making it bloody, but Golden Guardians with that dragon in hand.
Always fun to see in Azir. Head first in for the shuffle, but gets popped in the 1-for-1. Now, the Maokai ultimate does all the work here to delay the rest of the team for Dignitas. The Maokai ult means there's no follow-up on the Huhi engage, so Huhi's there and Gori teleports in, but Huhi gets focused down. All 5 of Dig, they kite, they use the zoning of the Maokai ultimate to be able to get the advantage in the team fight. And then in the chase down, it just ends up being a 1-for-1 with flashes and ults, both used from Jensen as well as from River here, trading the Azir for the Kindred in the end. But they also went +1 flash on that play with the extra flash blown, so still worth it for an Azir shuffle.
Okay, Kobe, so Dignitas still infusing some gold into Jensen, picking up more kills, but Golden Guardians picking up another dragon. What are your thoughts on where these teams are at this point in the game?
I mean, I like the 2 dragon sacking here for Golden Guardians because they've got really good side laning, so they won't have to worry too much about being drawn into fights that they don't want to have to take. They're going to have a lot more decision-making power here for them towards the mid game. Dignitas, they're fairly straightforward, and what they want to do is very linear, so easier for Golden Guardians to predict and to play around. That being said, in the last engage with that pincer movement, Golden Guardians will have to get better with their engages. You know, you have to take into account the CC and the zoning power that comes from Maokai ultimate, Ashe ultimate, and Azir ultimate. It's not easy to find those angles onto this Dig squad. They're so solid. They've got Poppy W to deny from the front, Maokai ultimate cutting out a giant area. So the 5-on-5s aren't really a big advantage, and you're looking for some more side lane plays.
Oh, Stun Santorin's in some trouble. Taken out before anything really even happens between the 2 teams. Rich is going forward. Double knockup onto multiple members of Golden Guardians, and Huhi wants to take Tomo down with him. It's a 2-for-1 trade thus far. Licorice picking up the enemy ADC and is hungry for more. Rich, what a slice from the Q from Stixxay, but manages to stay alive.
Those AP Varus pops, even with the attack speed, early items here, still definitely lands a lot on that Q. being able to pop those stacks. It looks like in the aftermath, Akali's also going to get solo gold on the top tower. So not only is this a nice little play here from Golden Guardians with Huhi being able to disengage, they get the counter here. And Rich goes right at Rivers because he knows Kindred no ultimate and he should be able to get this kill. It's still definitely very positive for Golden Guardians. Not only do they get the extra kill in the play, but they should on live also have gotten the solo tower gold on top side for the Akali. Yep, good job there for Gori. So even more money into one of those split pushers.
While the gold hasn't been heavily in the lead of one or another at this point in time, Golden Guardians just barely trying to push that over towards 1K after Dignitas were starting to build something up for themselves, but they're here ready for the site. Santorin rocking on in with the twisted advance. Licorice has to flash out of the pit.
Yeah, it's pretty scary about the lockdown there following up, so does expend the flash, doesn't want to have to wait till next queue up. Long cooldown on that, just jump through the teammate. Objective acquired though, so he's got that extra split pushing power of the Rift Herald in his pockets now. Always nice to have one of your solo laners pick up the Rift Herald #2 if you are trying to make a dent in one of those secondary turrets on the sideline.
Moving around, and here we are.
Quick solve.
Back where we started. Well, not exactly where we started, because we are over 19.5 minutes into the game. Dignitas and Golden Guardians neck and neck with the next dragon spawning in about 40 seconds time.
All right, I'm excited to see some of these Akali pops in the side lane now, because part of the reason Static Shiv jumped up so much in popularity was the AP ratio that's put on it and the amount of charges you can gain while dashing. And guess what? Akali's got a lot of dashes, so she can charge up to Static Shiv very quickly. And with the Proto Belt as well, adding even more mobility to the massive mobility here in the kit. So I think it will be a fun thing to watch, him jumping around these team fights with all that mobility and all that electricity. The Dragon about to spawn, and Golden Guardians actually heading here kind of early. They didn't get another shove on top lane before this happened. They're just going to go with the Rift Herald play down mid to get mid priority that way first.
A classic approach whenever a dragon is spawned in and you have that Rift Herald, throw it down mid. It draws some of the attention from Dignitas. Does manage to get a charge, but not much attention for long. Golden Guardians didn't immediately start up the dragon. They know Dignitas are coming forth. Dig being very focused on their team fight. Gori finding a positioning on the opposite side of the pit, but Huhi's the first one to go and make the play. Gori slicing through the back, but Santorin trying to lock back down. Dig Diamond is the first one to fall for Dignitas, and Golden Guardians keeping focus on this dragon. Is getting poked from both sides though. The range that Tomo has and the ability to do so. Jensen trying to get a little bit of a poke at it as well, but the re-engage is good from Licorice. Now all of the obliteration onto Santorin, and Dignitas cannot contest here. Golden Guardians, third dragon for themselves.
Beautiful crack on that team fight. Golden Guardians with the double flank have on the top side Huhi coming through with the Rell yet again. This time he flashes in to preempt the defensive move from Dig, and Dig are unable to peel this time around. Once Gori got in there, you saw Gori just instantly assassinate the Milio. He goes right for the Milio so he can't enchant anybody else up. He's a squishy target, so Huhi flashes in, goes in with the Rell ultimate, gets him locked up. Gori flashes to follow up, follows the E back onto him, instantly bursts down the Milio. They've got the advantage in the team fight. He can even use R2 to get back out over the wall, and they reset with their numbers advantage. Then just using this dragon, the Hex Dragon, with that little chain lightning as well. Licorice as soon as he gets his stun, and Stixxay having the cooldowns here to force Rich back out too means Santorin, there's no way out for him. He's either gonna go down running away or go down Wing back into the Golden Guardians, and he chooses the latter there. So the extra kills, and Golden Guardians keep on with their dragon stacking ways, and their options here are proliferating.
Building up advantages over the past 8 minutes or so. Stixxay did just use the cleanse to escape the effect of the enchanted crystal arrow from Tomo. That ultimate cooldown for Tomo does become pretty short, so you expect to throw those out pretty consistently as long as there's not a major objective that you're trying to hold it out for. But all the while, a little bit of a breather. Now, Golden Guardians having secured that gold lead past that 1,000 mark.
We've traded 1v1 partners, and Gori's like, okay, I'm not going to take down this Poppy, but I still kill most of the minion wave with the static shiv anyway. And then on the other split push partner, we're going to have a flank, River and Huhi looking for Jensen.
Uh-oh,
Can he cue?
Jensen, can he get there? Huhi goes for the grab, and it's River with the kill credit. Golden Guardians collapse pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. Pick off the other split pusher, static shiv the wave on the top side so they don't lose any priority here. Allows Licorice to push back out on this Jax as well. Golden Guardians pathway now looks very smooth. River even getting another mark. That is 8 marks at just under 24 minutes into the game. This is a very happy Kindred player.
And like you said, for Dignitas, they have a very clear-cut strategy. They want to team fight, and when it's Golden Guardians that have control over the map, they're going to have an easier time extending those wards forward as they've taken down more turrets. It's more difficult for Dignitas to find the opportunities to do so.
Yeah, they've got to really mark Huhi. Last time they had a ward that saw him a little bit early, but then since Huhi used everything to jump in there too quickly, they couldn't react. So they really need to mark these flankers, the Akali and the Rell, the two most prominent. But Licorice himself trying to fish around.
Rich, though, poking around as well. They know that they don't see Licorice across mid or on the side lane, so he had to be lurking somewhere. Dignitas feel like they are a bit more wary when it comes to separating. Diamond making sure to keep his carrying Tomo alive, or his bot laner at that, and Santorin just really trying to lie in wait here, Kobe. It's very difficult for them to find their openings.
Yeah, this Dignitas squad, because their engage is pretty slow moving, if it's not for the Ashe arrow nailing somebody who does not see the Ashe arrow coming, it's going to be kind of hard for Dig to actually choose their moment. And that's why we keep talking about Golden Guardians have so many more options, and they're the ones being able to push out side lanes, being able to force the vision the way they want around these objectives. And unless it's a god tier Ashe arrow to start it out here from Dig, where the rest of the members can then follow up with the slow moving Maokai ultimate and get there in time with the Azir damage, then it is going to be Golden Guardians really being the ones choosing the locations and the sites for these fights.
How do you find that sneaky arrow when there's red wards everywhere? You can't find any pocket to hide in if you're anyone for Dignitas. And Golden Guardians, with the continued map control, just really limiting those options, but broadening the options for themselves. 20 seconds to go before the next dragon spawns. This would be the 4th for Golden Guardians in the acquisition of a soul, unless Dignitas can do something about it.
Okay, they see the Rell, they see the Akali up on the Baron side, but the whiff on the Varus ultimate.
Can't do any follow-up from that. At least Golden Guardians making sure not to commit until they get some kind of lockdown onto Dignitas. Everyone from Dignitas out in the open across mid lane.
Yeah, Golden Guardians right now trying to use this dangling dragon soul, 4th dragon up, as a kind of distraction to be able to go for the Baron. They keep hovering towards the Baron side. So if Dig go down there and they try and cut off the dragon soul pickup, then Golden Guardians are threatening that they will very quickly burn down that Baron.
And at the very least, Gori getting
Ashe
one
arrow
up
hits.
on the top. Ultimate out from Maokai. River just able to sidestep it. Dignitas, they wanted to find the angle, but they could not. And Golden Guardians takes that pulling away of their resources as a win for them to go take the objective instead. GG on the Dragon.
Yeah, they're on the Dragon, and they're on the top lane, and they're on the Baron vision. So this is the benefits of being able to push the rest of the map. Akali pushes the minion wave up to the secondary turret on top side. Licorice is on the Dragon. Gori then rotates on over to this Baron start that they've done. And they might have taken too much damage here. Huhi's already down to 50% HP on the Rell. Support tanks are not built like the rest of them. A little bit more squishy here. They can't afford to fully tank it. And it looks like Golden Guardians might have tried to do too much there, as they get chased off of Baron. The minion wave got cleared on top side, and they can just slip in and pick up the Dragon for themselves. So Golden Guardians trying to do a lot, but Dignitas being able to defend and in the end pick up the easy Drake.
And the hope from Golden Guardians was to divide those resources from Dignitas, a team that wants to play together, but instead, when drawing them apart but not able to draw the health bars down enough onto the objectives, they don't pick anything up just yet. Dignitas, on the other hand, getting their first Drake, but it's just one, and now the focus is back over onto the top side. Golden Guardians whittling down the Baron once again, teleport coming on in as well to ensure the team in full is here for any approach that Dignitas make from downtown. Santorin throws out the ultimate once again. Poppy kicks Licorice away, and Stixxay very close to death before the Lamb's Respite ends up popping. Gori goes into the backline, tries to get the kill onto Rich, but has to go golden. It's a shutdown onto Stixxay, but the entirety of the bot lane for Dignitas has been killed. Double kill for River, and Golden Guardians want to lock their sights on the remaining members of Dignitas. Golden Guardians with the Baron, Golden Guardians with the Ace.
It was scrappy, it was messy, but in the end, Golden Guardians will get the Baron. Poppy ultimate is able to get the Jax out, not the jungler out, because River was hiding in the back of it. And then River, really good ultimate here, saves Stixxay, gives them some time to force out the Dig bat line. You see Rich and Diamond got so low, but then Jensen, he shifts in, he tries to go for the big kills, the sweep on that Kindred ultimate. The last second stopwatch there from Licorice keeps him alive. And they only drop 2 members to Dig as Dig tried to sweep in there at the very end of that Baron and pull out the extra kills. Even though it was a little scrappy there for Golden Guardians, in the end, they get their Baron and they won the team fight as well. So now they'll be coming back so much more items in inventory here for them to be able to complete this siege. Almost 8,000 the gold lead, as well as being 3 minutes away from the Dragon Soul.
River putting in work and damage, but also in utility, keeping Stixxay in there, and Golden Guardians walking away with a lot in that 8,000 gold lead. Buff still in tow for 1 minute and 20 seconds more. Dignitas, their circle just becomes smaller and smaller. Tails between legs in their own jungle as Golden Guardians have already pressured the side lanes and are looking to pressure more.
Yep, take away the jungle while pushing 2 lanes. Jax mid, rest of the members rotate down to Gori, who's already pushing on bottom side. So the Baroned up minions will do a lot of work here. Even for Azir, they're kind of difficult to clear out, but it looks like they will get it up. Mid lane now is going to crash there as well. Varus arrow is answered by the Milio ult. This time, they don't double up on the cleanse plus ult at the same time, so that's definitely improvement there for Dig. 1-for-1 trade.
Some more team synergy coming from Dignitas, specifically from that bot lane, but will it be enough to keep Golden Guardians off of their front porch and keep that door locked? But GG keep on pushing.
And the cooldown for Varus ultimate is way shorter than the cooldown for Milio ultimate, so Stixxay is just going to keep on throwing these out, fishing around for picks. Always worth it if he's able to burn that one. And that level lead for AD carries that we were talking about in the early game with all the roaming there for Huhi has expanded 2 levels now, the lead for Stixxay, as well as across the board, River in the jungle as well over Santorin. And those are the benefits of having so much map control and being able to push all 3 lanes constantly in this game, and then be able to collapse into jungle to steal away even more resources.
And Dignitas, I mean, we've seen in the last fights the attempts to go by the game plan. Jensen trying to get in there, throwing out the Emperor's Divide, wanting to really divvy up Golden Guardians. Santorin ulting from outside of vision to get that lockdown. But Golden Guardians' response has been great, especially when using those reactive ultimates like the Kindred ultimate, and then even being able to sidestep some of the specific targeting, like Rich, for instance, wanting to knock on the jungler, but getting a solo laner instead. GG are just looking cleaner. Oh, but here we go, teleport coming in for Dignitas, and an immediate stun onto Licorice, who pops the watch. Turret doing some damage. Oh, there's the Emperor Divide to knock 2 under the turret, and Huhi goes golden himself alongside Jensen. Gori from the flank wants to go for the kill, finds it onto Azir, and Gori now very dangerous for a moment until the rest of the team can collapse upon Santorin, and Golden Guardians get their second ace.
Yep, and that might do it for us. It's only 32 minutes into the game, but Golden Guardians pushing the inhibitor, going for the Nexus turrets. Everybody from Dig is dead, and Golden Guardians will pull it out.
I'm sorry, Fudge, but it looks like you're wrong on your prediction for the day. Starting week 2 strong, it is Golden Guardians decimating Dignitas to really pull things together with a little bit of flair in the final moments. Oh, the double ace and a win.
Nice timing on the pop at the end. The finishing touches there from Golden Guardians with the fountain kill.